Well, suspended Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane has missed the deadline for responding to written questions set by members and evidence leaders of Parliament's Section 194 inquiry. It's all into her fitness to hold office. Now, we go back to June 25th. The committee gave Chaane Attorneys, it's Mkhwebane's lawyers, two sets of questions. Very simple. The due date for responding to those questions was on Friday. It's now Sunday evening, so that's 2 days ago, the 6th of July. Let's bring in committee chairperson, it's Mr. Qubudile Dyantyi for more. Mr. Dyantyi, good evening to you. I appreciate your time. Long time since you and I have spoken as well. So the Public Protector missed the deadline. Is this the end of it? Is she out?
Good evening, Garrett. It's nice to speak to you again and to all your ENCA viewers. She has missed the Thursday deadline, actually the 6th of July. Friday would have been the 7th of July, where she needed to indicate whether for the next step, which is the closing argument, whether she would do that virtually or in writing. But all of that together, Gareth, is she has done a disservice to herself and to her cause, but as well as the institution of the Public Protector, that office. Because what she has done, she has chosen not to be accountable to an institution that all Chapter 9 institutions account to. So she has demonstrated disrespect and basically has shown a I don't care kind of attitude. But secondly, she has given away a very important opportunity to respond to the questions that have been put to her by members and evidence leaders. And in that way, she would have given away an opportunity to persuade, because we have had 24 witnesses that came in front of that committee, 18 asked by the committee and the 6 by herself. And the evidence of those witnesses would have been either for or against herself. This would have been an opportunity to then assist her own cause to, if she doesn't agree with the kind of evidence and facts that were put forward by certain witnesses, the response to those questions would have been to help her. But
let me ask you about those questions, Mr. Dyantyi. I don't mean to push you on time. Just help me understand, what were the two questions that you asked her? Just explain to me like I'm not a lawyer.
There were a lot, not only two, there were a lot of questions asked by members and evidence leaders, and others were just straightforward. It was about her to confirm this, or is this correct, for example, because all of the questions, and I've gone through all of them, all of the questions did not need for you to go and study law or go and study something. They were within her personal knowledge. These were questions related to the kind of work that she has done since 2016 in that office. And I was just making the point, Gareth, that the real effect and implication of her missing, of her non-responses to the questions is that it is not going to prolong our deadlines. Our deadlines are not going to be longer. To the contrary, her missing and not responding to these questions actually has got an effect that we can produce a report much earlier than the 28th of July date that we anticipated, because for the coming week, if we had set aside preparation for closing argument and she has not responded to that, nothing stops me as chair to direct the evidence leaders to do the summation. Nothing stops me as a chair to convene a committee and say, we've put together a draft report as we proceed to the National Assembly. So it's a real disservice to herself.
It is. And as I start saying goodbye to you, Mr. Dyantyi, what's the worst case scenario here for Busisiwe Mkhwebane? What's the worst case scenario?
Well, the test for fitness to hold office, whether she's fit or not fit, remains with two possibilities. The best case scenario for her is for the committee to exonerate her and say she's fit to hold office, in which case she stays. The worst case scenario is if the committee makes findings and therefore declare that she's not fit to hold office and therefore she's removed. That's a worst case scenario for her.
And then just give me a sense, so if you were to now receive any kind of response, perhaps a request for an extension because the Public Protector and her legal team want to study some of the questions, is that something you would be open to, or are you steadfast on your timeline and you've drawn a line in the sand?
We have not, up to so far, we have not received anything to that regard that says, I'm not able to do this, can I be assisted? Because we have offered assistance. If she's not able to look into for certain documents, we have said we're able to assist there. Anything that she can throw to us, will be ready to assist, but we're marching forward and ready to produce our report, but we're open to anything that you can throw our way.
Help me understand, as you compile this report, who do you send that to? Who has the final say on whether the Public Protector keeps her seat? Who does this go to?
So this is how it happens. So we're a committee of the National Assembly that is charged to investigate, find veracity of the independent panel report that said there's prima facie evidence that she has got reasons to answer. We've done that investigation in terms of the inquiry that we have done. Once we produce that draft report, we're going to give an opportunity to say, here's our draft report. That report might be saying, we're removing you, and we'll ask her to comment, or it might say, we're not removing you. We take that report to the National Assembly. The National Assembly will vote on that report. And if we're removing her, the National Assembly would need 2/3 of vote for her removal. From there, it goes to the president to have the final signature. Remember, the president appoints as well as remove at the end.
Well, I appreciate your time in making this evening for us, Mr. Dyantyi. Thank you very much indeed. So, as you can see, going to be a very interesting week coming up as far as the Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane is concerned. My thanks very much to Committee Chairperson Qubudile Dyantyi for this evening. 25